Hello, my name is Shane Gray and welcome to my very first video review. I like to every year support the Jack Vassell Memorial Auction, and for this year what I decided to do was to put in up an item for bid to review a game, a video review of the person who won the auction's choice. And so that's what I did this year. And the person who won the auction, what they decided to do is they wanted to have the game Letters from Whitechapel. So today I'm going to talk about the game Letters from Whitechapel. It's a great little game. I really enjoy it. It's this version of the game was put out by Nexus in 2011, but since then Fantasy Flight Games has recreated the game in 2012. Hello, Izzy. So the only difference between the game from Fantasy Flight in 2012 is some of the components are a little bit better. That was Izzy, one of our 4 cats. So I got a little bit distracted by that. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the game and how we play the game. So this is the board. It's a very nice rendition of London at the time of Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is what the game is about. One player will play the role of Jack the Ripper and will kill people each night, and the other players will play the roles of the police. Now the game can play up to 2 to 6 players, and with one player playing Jack, the other players being the police. So what we first do is, Jack gets set up. He gets a little pawn here, and he gets some of these special movement tokens. Reaching across over for him. Okay, this special token is a carriage, and we'll talk about that later, and this one's an alley jump, and we'll discuss those as we go. Now, also Jack the Ripper will get one of these little player cards, and the police get them as well. And basically what it does is it gives an outline of the game order, so, everybody's got it available. So, what Jack's going to be doing is he also gets this nice little folder, right, where it has like a little map of the city to make it easier as you're, moving about the city. You're going to be writing your movements into these squares for each of the 4 nights. And what you write up in here is your headquarters. So Jack at the beginning of the game is going to select one of these circle locations with a number in them. And he'll write that number up here to indicate that's where his headquarters is, or his hideout. So, and what Jack's going to be doing is moving throughout the city, and what we're going to do is talk a little bit about that. The next part is Jack takes these tokens, the player that plays Jack's, and all of them have the little white boots on the back of them. And the Fantasy Flight version of the game, these are actually little white wooden cylinders, but this is just cardboard. On the back of them, you have either a red dot or just a plain white marker. Now there's 5 red dots, and those represents all the different locations that Jack can, commit a crime. The other 3 are just spots to throw off the police. So what Jack is going to do, hello Izzy again. First, Jack is going to get the cat to leave the table. Off the table, cat. Down, Izzy. Okay, and Jack is going to take these tokens and Izzy, off the table. That's my wife grabbing the cat there. As you know, cats do love cardboard. So Jack's going to be taking these tokens and he's going to be placing them on the board in these spots that are a red circle with a number on it. These are the traditional spots where, someone has been killed, and there's some all over the city. So Jack's going to place them around, and so the police know that those are the locations where something could happen, but they're not sure exactly where it's going to happen. Now the police will pick one of their members to be the leader, and that leader will take these tokens here, and these are the police tokens. On the back of them are different colors to represent the different color police meeples. So, and also 2 of them have no color on the back. They're just kind of blank to try and throw off Jack. So the leader of the investigation, he'll take these police meeple and he'll put them on these big black squares with a yellow outline to them. And so he'll do that, and these are the spots where the police are going to have their start for each round. And I'm missing one. Where is it? Oh, there it is over here. So, then the next part of the thing is what Jack does is then he reveals where he has placed the chance to have a crime committed. And then he'll take the wretched pawns, which these represent the women that were killed by Jack the Ripper, and he'll place them on the board in the spots where the red dotted locations were. Now, once Jack has done that, then the police will reveal... okay, actually, what happens is he does that. Then Jack what he'll does is he'll wait or claim a victim. So, you know, actually the police will reveal their locations. So, actually, sorry, my mistake. The police are actually placed a little later in the game. So Jack will, at this point, he's got this little token which is represent the time of kill token, and on his track down here, this will be the first opportunity for Jack to kill one of the victims. And if he opts to kill one of the victims, say he takes this one and kills this victim, then what he would do is he would take that number 84 and he would write it in the first spot, and that's where Jack currently is, in this location of the first kill. And he'll take this little red token and place it over there to indicate that's where the crime was committed. Now, if Jack had opted not to kill someone in that location, if he decided not to kill someone, and what would happen was the wretched would move, and the police would then move the wretched along the tracks on the numbers, and they could move them towards the police to make them, you know, a little easier for them to, you know, rescue. But the problem is, if they were here, the police couldn't move them across a police officer. They would have to move them away if that was that situation. So then, the counter would go up, and then Jack could kill or opt to let the police move them or not. And this kind of gives both sides a little bit of information. What happens, though, is the longer Jack waits, the more time he has available in order to get back to his hideout. Because this track here at the bottom kind of represents the amount of time or number of moves that Jack has to get back from where he committed the crime to his hideout to where he's going to be safe. Now, if you were to kill in the very first time available, he would have 15 moves to get back. But if he waits all the way down here, well, now he's got 20 total moves in order to do it. But in that situation, the wretched are all going to be clustered around the police. And you just kind of play it by ear on what you want to do at that situation. I tend to like to kill early, but that's just me when I play Jack. So once the crime spot has been committed, then all the pawns come off the board, and then the police are revealed, and they let you know, so the police are placed on the board, the police pawns. So we'll place these police pawns real quickly. You know, I just kind of threw them out randomly, so I didn't do any kind of real strategy, but it turns out I kind of surrounded Jack with my police. So, now that the police have been placed, what happens next is Jack escapes into the night. So Jack, what we'll do is he'll take his first movement. This is where the location was when he killed him. So he'll take his first movement from here. Now Jack can do a regular movement, which would be he would just move one location, so he can move from here to any one of the adjacent number symbols. Now the little black squares he can just ignore. He's going from one number to another number. So in this case he's on 99, he can get to 120, 83, 84, 86, 85, or 100. So, or what Jack can do is if he wanted to, he could use one of his special actions. He could jump on a cart, and when you do the cart, you place it on the board, and it represents two movements, because you're not just doing one movement, you're doing two. So otherwise you would just do one. So the beauty of that is you get to go a little extra further before the police can do anything about it. Now in the rules, it allows you as Jack to move through a police officer when you're in a carriage. Now when we play, we kind of house rule it that you don't allow to do that. So there's never ability to pass through a police officer on a road. But it's whatever you want to do. That's an optional rule that we use. Now, the other one is the alley jump or alley pass, whatever. And what that does, when you play that, you just put it down by the track as well to indicate that you've used that. And that would be your movement. And what you do there is you move, instead of moving along the roads, you're jumping through the alley, and you would then be able to kind of skip. So if I'm at 99, I could go all the way over here to 65, right? Or to 83 or at 84. Like, I mean, this isn't a very good location to do an alley jump because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 locations I can get to. But, you know, for instance, if I was over here, if a Jack was over here at 86 and he did an alley jump, he can get to any one of these locations along this block, or any one of the locations along this block, because he's adjacent to two different alleys, two different blocks. So what Jack's going to do, he's going to make one move. So he'll either move one normal, one alley, or take a cart and allow to move two locations. And then the police are going to move. So what Jack does is he'll take and right into here where he's currently located. So he'll make his move and write it down. And then the police will move. So the police will try and close in on Jack. And now when the police move, they move on the black squares. They don't move on the numbers. So they would move on the black squares. So sometimes you can move pretty far, and sometimes you're a little bit restricted on where you can go. So once the police move, when you move, you can do one of two things after you move. You can either search for clues or you can arrest. If you search for clues, you're just going, has Jack ever been at location 120? And if Jack has been at that location, you would then take one of these clear plastic clue tokens and place them here. Now in my version of the game, the tokens are clear, so they get kind of a little hard to see on the board because it blends in. But in the Fantasy Flight version of the game, they have a blue tint to them, so it makes them a little easier to see. Now, if Jack hasn't been there, then you can ask at another location. You can go, well, if he's not at 120, has he ever been at 99? Which we know he has because that's where he's killed, so obviously that's the case. But if you wanted to, you can sit there and go, instead of asking for a clue, you can go, I'm going to arrest at location, say, 100. And if Jack is currently at location 100, you've captured Jack and the game ends. If Jack isn't there, he just says, I'm not there, and you don't get any further information. Even if Jack has passed through that location, you don't get a clue to indicate that, yes, Jack has been there. You know, so you don't get any further information on an arrest if Jack wasn't there. Now, so basically, the police are going to move, and then Jack gets to move again, and then the police will move, and then Jack, and the police will be trying to corner Jack, and Jack's trying to get to his headquarters. Now, if Jack manages to make it to his headquarters before before the timer runs out, or before the police catch him, then it goes on to the second day. And the second day, if say this was how it ended on the first day, when the police were at this location, when the Jack will take the women token and he'll place them on the red spots to indicate, the potential spots of where he's going to kill someone. But when the police place their police markers down, what they'll do is they'll place them where the police are currently located. Now, they don't have to, I grabbed the yellow one here. I don't have to place it with the yellow pawn. I can put the yellow one over here underneath the red one. It doesn't matter. I can also take the blank one and put it where one of the police currently are. It's just these are the locations where the police could potentially start in the next night. Now, there's 7 of them, so 2 of them will have to be placed on the big black bordered squares. So that allows, like, if Jack's got all the cops run into one corner, on the next night he can kill all the way on the other side of the board and allow him kind of a little bit of a free reign of getting back. So the police have to make sure they, kind of stay a little bit spread out when they can. Now, like as I said, the game is played over 4 rounds. But a special on the 3rd round, on the 3rd night, what happens is Jack kills 2 people. Not just 1, but 2 people die. And so what he'll do is he'll pick 2 of the locations, that have the pawns, and he'll indicate, this one and maybe the one over here has been selected for the crime location. Now, Jack gets to pick which one was the first one and which one's the second one, and he doesn't have to tell the police that. So the police don't know which one took place first and which place took second, and that way Jack is either at one location or the other. They do not know. So it gives a little bit more challenge for the police at that point. And then if Jack on the final round gets on the 4th round, if he's able to kill someone and get back to his headquarters, then Jack will win the game. So the game is won by either one person playing Jack wins the game, or everybody playing the police win the game. So it's kind of a bit of a co-op game built, but with a competitive nature to it, with having at least one person on the other side. Now, that's the way the game is played. That's the flow of the game. It's Jack writes down where he's been, and the police move around the board trying to find clues and find out his location, and corner him and make an arrest. And that's the way the game's played. And so I hope this was helpful in determining, how the game flows and if you like it or not. I have to say that I do enjoy the game very much. It is one of my favorite games. I have found I've played it with full 6 people. I've played it with 2 people. And I prefer playing it with a lesser number of people, either 2 or 3. It just, to me, it just works out better that way. When you play with 6 players, you either have 1 or 2 people kind of controlling the whole, what do we do with the police, and the other people just kind of don't really do much about it, or it's very long discussions on where Jack could possibly be, which could be fun, but it does in the turn drag the game out to like 2 or 3 hours in that situation. It's a very fun game. It's very strategic. I really enjoy playing Jack, trying to get away, and I can't say enough about it. I just love the game, and I hope that if people play it for the first time and they enjoy it as well. Anyways, thank you very much for listening to and watching my review, and maybe if this does well, I'll do another one. Thank you. Have a great day.